Morning, everybody. It is 7:39 right now. It is time to go for more, much like the Iowa Wild kept going for more and more and more when it comes to scoring goals yesterday afternoon.
Well, they are going for more. First time ever the Iowa Wild are in the playoffs, the Calder Cup, and we are so excited. The first game ever into the playoffs happened last night here at home against the Milwaukee Admirals. So we, of course, need to learn more details because if you missed out on an incredible game last night, there's another opportunity to watch. So we have Jacob Ward joining us this morning from the Iowa Wild. Thank you so much for being here.
So it was a nail biter, yesterday, huh?
Just a little bit. Yeah. Everybody was kind of waiting for that first goal, and then of course it's Cal O'Reilly, the team leader, the leading point scorer, who gets it, and then after that the building erupted, and from there the team was rolling.
Absolutely. It was a great game. I'm sorry if you missed it last night. We were encouraging you to come on out. Of course, the Easter Bunny was there, Easter egg hunt, all the festivities you would expect on an Easter Sunday with some incredible hockey. And I'm telling you, as soon as both teams heard the okay to go at it, they did. Like, you can tell both of these teams want to make it to the next step in these playoffs.
Absolutely. I firmly believe that playoff hockey is the best 2 months of sports you can ever watch. The games are so intense, they're so physical, and there's so much skill that goes into it that it is the best bang for your buck in any sort of sporting event. And so, like you said, playoff hockey, it just ratchets it up even more. Hockey's already a physical sport, it's already a fast sport, and it just keeps growing and growing as you get closer and closer to the championship.
Yeah, I was communicating with a former hockey player, and he says, he doesn't miss hockey until it gets to playoff season. Because when it gets to playoff season, it's a whole new game.
It is, and this is really what the guys play for. This is what they like to do, and this is how, the whole goal is always to win the Calder Cup, and when you get to the NHL, win the Stanley Cup.
Right.
So these guys are so dedicated to their craft. This is what they've spent years and years of their life doing, that when it comes to the chance they finally get it, it doesn't happen often. So you have to do everything in your power to make sure that you give it your best shot.
But this is new territory.
As I said, we wanted to see how the Iowa Wild would respond. Let's be honest, towards the end of the regular season, they weren't doing the greatest, so we're just excited they were in the playoffs. But then, how are they going to respond now that they're there? And last night they definitely showed up. I know we have some footage from last night. Can you take us through? You're talking about the excitement of the playoffs. What happened last night? What happened last night with some of the action, some of the plays that were made that proved to you that the playoffs are really something you don't want to miss?
Well, I definitely think it, like we mentioned before we came on air, is just the physicality of it and how pretty much from the puck drop, everybody was going as hard as they can. And then you're going to see here, Coach Army mentioned last night that this was probably some of the best passing he's seen out of the team this year. And it seemed like every time the puck found our stick and we managed to find the back of the net, like this goal right here, Matt Reed finds Colorado back door and he just slammed it home to make it 4-0. It was just a great game.
Feeling,
exactly.
Yeah.
But even talking to the season ticket holders last night, they're like, this team was at a whole new level last night playing. It's like, who is this team? Like, where have they been? It's exciting to see them play this well on the ice. But I was talking to you, there was a lot of action last night. Like, these guys were in each other's faces. The minute that buzzer rang, like throwing down the gloves almost the very first play, saying we're here to take charge of our ice. But there was a lot of plays that people got ramped up and excited about because it's like, where was the ref? Why weren't they calling on things? And you were telling me during the break, they kind of let things go during the playoffs.
Boys will be boys.
When playoffs come around, there do tend to be a little bit more of letting things go in the playoffs.
Leniency?
Which also tends to lead to the more physicality in the game. It's one of the things that hockey fans love, the fact that these guys are going out there and they are playing their hardest. And I think the big part of that as well is that they don't want a power play or a missed call or a unfair call to go against a team, especially when in the first round of the playoffs, all you need is 3 wins in 5 games. So it's a short series, and so you'll tend to see as games kind of get further and further, whistles get put away a little bit. But the good thing that the referees do is they make sure that the game does not get out of hand. You won't see that even though it is a physical game, there still will be penalties called, and there still will keep it within reason to a physical standpoint.
Now, what about the game yesterday? Because the game yesterday was 7-0.
Yes.
At its conclusion. Toward the end of the game, how were the referees handling the play on ice?
They were doing well. They did keep it in line. Milwaukee, they were obviously frustrated on the ice, so you could tell that they were a little bit angry with
any
our
cheap
players.
Shots at the end?
It was chippy. I'm going to say that it was chippy. I don't know about cheap shots, but they were giving us some extra stick checks and whatnot. And so the referees did call called penalties, put them in the box, kept the game within check, so it didn't get out of hand too much, especially with a lopsided score like that. And
right.
You're going to see that was just game one, and there is potentially 5 games of the series where you're playing the same team. So there's a day off today, so they kind of get to simmer down a little bit. But once they get back on the ice, you're going to see sometimes a little bit of those flares kick back up again.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay, so as you said, with the playoffs, this first round, it's best out of 5.
Yes.
With the first 2 games here at home, which is a nice advantage there. So
yes.
Technically, if we win again tomorrow night, we're already 2 in. We would only need 1 more away, and we would have the first round clinched, correct?
Correct. So it is a best of 5 series. So you obviously just need to get 3 wins for that. And the way the AHL works is that it's the higher or the lower seed, so the 3 seed or the 4 seed gets home ice for the first 2 games, and then the higher seed or the 1 or the 2 seed gets home ice for the final 3.
The closers, yeah.
The closers. So the theory is that you could lose both of the games on the road, go home, you still have 3 games to clinch it.
Right.
So for us, we really wanted to get the first win because that just pushes you a little bit further ahead, and getting a 7-0 win was just icing on the cake.
Now, for those people that aren't big-time hockey fans, what does a win like a shutout, 7-0 win do for the mental state of the hockey team going in? Are they going to be kicking back and relaxing a little bit today, or do they want to try to get 8 goals tomorrow?
They're going to want to try to get 8 goals. The big thing is that you celebrate the win, you have your moment, but then as soon as the next day comes around, you got to put it behind you because it's such a short series. You have to have a short memory, and you don't want to get too high or too low because that's how things can go wrong, and that's how you could see like Tampa Bay Lightning, who were sitting very high when they went into the playoffs, and then they lost 4 straight to Columbus, and now they're golfing when Columbus is moving on to the second round.
Wow.
You don't want to be golfing, right?
No, you do not.
Okay.
So you got to keep your emotions in check. You don't want to get too high, too low. The big thing is that you come into work today, hit the ice hard, and then be ready to go tomorrow because Milwaukee is going to come out even more fired up than they were in game 1 because they're going to want to get that win and make sure that they've got some.
So there is a
momentum
practice today then?
Yeah, we'll be on the ice. We'll be on the ice today for a closed practice, and then morning skate tomorrow, and then game tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
All right, so if people missed the incredible action last night, I apologize because it was a fantastic game. We have another opportunity to watch playoffs here locally at Wells Fargo Arena.
Like I said early in the segment, that you cannot get more bang for your buck than going to an Iowa Wild playoff game. Tickets start at just $16 for Tuesday night's game. It's going to be $1 dog night. You're going to get a rally towel, and you're going to be able to see the second ever Calder Cup playoff game at Wells Fargo Arena. So it's going to be a rowdy time. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll see the boys go up 2-0 in the series.
That works. That's the whole game plan.
Yes.
Special merchandise. You got T-shirts, pins, hats, so you can remember this amazing time because truly, first ever time Iowa Wild in the playoffs.
Yes.
All right, let's see if we can keep the puck sliding in the right direction.
That would be fantastic.
That's the whole idea.
Yes.
All right, light them up, man.
Great to see you.
Thank you very much.
for joining
Good to
us
see you.
this
Thank you for having me
morning.
on.